You can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. So if you would like to listen in a still position, just feel free to take all the time that you need to arrive there. And just let yourself fidget as much as you need to. Let yourself adjust, stretch, or move in whatever ways at all that your body wants to move. Maybe it feels good to take a nice big morning stretch with the arms reaching overhead and getting the body nice and long. Or maybe some torso twists, side body bends, neck rolls, just anything at all that feels good in your body. As you do your best to not think about these movements at all, not worrying about what the movements look like, but just coming into your sense of feeling and just following the yummy sensations that you might feel when you make movements like rolling out the neck or the shoulders, or just following your instincts with movement and trusting what your body wants. And if what your body wants at any time is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. And there's also no rush whatsoever. You can keep moving throughout this practice whenever you feel the need to. But at any point, if you haven't already and would like to, you can make your way to a still position. Just checking in that your spine is nice and straight in whatever position you've chosen. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. As you now mark your arrival into your practice today and into your body today with a full and intentional cleansing breath, just calling in fresh new air into the body as you almost watch yourself filling up to every corner and edge of you. As you hold that for a moment once you're full, to just sit in this sense of fullness and slowly letting it all go as you need to. Exhaling bit by bit as you gently pull the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment to now experience the sense of emptiness as you allow your next breath to come to you as it's needed. And you can continue to breathe just like this for as many rounds as feels good and helpful to you. Just consciously and intentionally slowing down the 4 parts of the breath. The inhale, the pause at the top of the inhale, followed by the exhale, and that pause at the bottom of the exhale. Just exaggerating each step of your breath. Intentionally slowing down the process of the breath. Communicating to our body and to our nervous system that now is a time to slow down, to turn our attention inward. And at any point, if you haven't already, you may release this guidance over your breath altogether as you step back and up in the mind and into the role of the observer or the witness. Into that perspective where you are now just watching the fact that your body is breathing, rather than having any direct impact over the rhythm or depth of the breath. But remembering how our breath is the one bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. And so letting go of that voluntary guidance we just had over the breath as you now observe the automatic process that is your body breathing you, just as it does when you're in a deep state of sleep. Remembering how your body does function perfectly to keep you alive without any of your doing, without any of your direction. And so it is safe for you to now not do a thing. This is not a doing or thinking process, but rather one of listening and feeling. Stepping into a more curious perspective. Making note of any expectations that are popping up, any thoughts that tell you how you think you should be feeling or how you would rather be feeling, and instead become curious about how you already are feeling. Remembering that each and every time you show up for a practice like this one, we will have different findings since we are constantly changing. And so becoming curious of how you are and who you are in this exact moment. As you let your awareness come to your face, as you just feel any areas of tension gathering in the face, any resting expression that is on the face, and any emotions that could be communicated by this resting expression. Maybe the brow is tense or the jaw. The nostrils could be flared, or the chin or ears could even be holding some remaining tension. And so just allowing your awareness of these areas of tension and holding be all that you need to now allow these areas to soften. As you simply allow your jaw to hang into place, maybe opening and closing the mouth a few times to find that middle ground where the jaw is just hanging there, where the tongue releases from the roof of the mouth and the lips rest softly on one another. And just feeling that sense of release and letting go in the mouth naturally spread outward and upward as the cheeks relax a bit further. The eyelids. The ears and the chin. the eyebrows, and the entire forehead, as you just feel the hairline soften back slightly, as you allow the forehead to be wide and deep. As you just feel this overall general sense of trust with your own anatomy. Trusting that when you let go, when you release any holding, everything will be held exactly where it needs to be. You do not need to hold yourself in any particular way. And just like your body breathing, when you let go, when you soften, everything is held exactly where it needs to be. Your skin holds everything in its place. The earth that is beneath you and the force of gravity all around you holds you exactly where you need to be. And so even if it's just for a moment, releasing yourself into that trust and safety. Remembering this inherent safety that you possess with your own anatomy and on this earth. When you let go, you will not be crushed. You will not float away, but you will be held exactly where you need to be. And just letting some of your awareness come now into your heart. As you gradually bring more and more of your awareness to focus in closer on your own heartbeat. Maybe even placing one or both hands on top of the heart to just encourage that feeling from the outside as well. And just tuning in to this steady rhythm that is your own heartbeat. The steady background beat to every single moment of your life. Remembering that there is nothing in particular that you are doing to make this heartbeat or to earn this beating heart. But this heart is a pure gift that comes included in this life and in this body. And this heart is your own personal and direct line of connection to whatever source out there allows all of our hearts to beat. Whatever source or force you believe all of life, all of energy comes from, you are directly connected to that. Simply because you are alive. You are energy. And so you will always be connected to the source that all energy comes from. And there's nothing that you can do or anyone can do that will take away this connection. It will always be here. And this connection in your heart is your own source of love, of compassion, of empathy, of joy and creativity. Your heart is your source of all energy. This heart is directly connected to every inch of your body through veins and vessels. All of this love that is in your heart travels throughout your entire body, to your toes, to the fingertips, to the tip of your head, and every inch in between. And this heart is also directly connected to your throat. And feeling this connection as you trace the space with your awareness between your heart up into the throat. As you maybe even feel a sense of a heartbeat in your own throat. As you trace the space back and forth between your heart and your throat and your entire mouth. Just clearing this connection between your heart and your mouth so that you may be able to speak what is on your heart with a little bit more ease. Trusting that you can communicate clearly whatever ideas and thoughts are on your heart. As you remember as well how this heart is also connected to your brain, to up through the throat, into the brain stem and into the brain itself, into both of your ears as well. And you have the power to listen to those around you through this same lens of love that is in your heart. And just clearing that connection, any kinks in that connection, just by being aware of it, by tracing that space between your heart and your head with your awareness just back and forth, facilitating this connection just a little bit more. And allowing all of this love and trust with your instincts that is in your heart to naturally expand into your head so that you have the power to listen and to communicate with those who are around you with this loving and compassionate lens. allowing yourself to communicate just a little bit more clearly and accurately to how you feel, which is a practice. So being so kind and patient with yourself when you do speak something that when you hear it out loud doesn't feel quite right. We learn so much about ourselves and about who we are and who we want to be through our connections with others. And so being brave enough to communicate honestly with those around you. And taking time for yourself to communicate internally and coming to terms with what ideas you even want to bring to others. So that when you decide the things you want to speak to others, they are things that you have thought about and come to terms with on your own, while at the same time leaving the door open for your mind to change. Since we make all of our decisions with whatever information we have at the time, when we bring ideas to others, sometimes we can learn, or oftentimes we can learn, new information, which then may change our mind. And that is okay. Leaving the space in your body and in your heart to be flexible, to see multiple sides of situations. As you remember that there is rarely ever one right answer. And the beautiful thing about working with others is the collaboration and all the different perspectives. And just taking a moment to notice if any tension has crept back in the body. Notice how the body is responding to what you are hearing and what you are feeling. As you remind the body to soften once again. And as you notice whatever it is that you can see, even with the eyes closed, you can remember that your own perception is entirely unique to you. And it is valuable. There is nobody else out there who sees the world exactly the way that you do, who hears their environment the exact way that you do, who feels, smells, tastes, who takes in reality in the exact way that you do. Remembering how what we perceive is affected by our attention. How you can focus in closer on certain sounds as you fuzz out the rest. Or look closely at one thing as the surrounding scenery becomes a bit blurry. You see the world in a way that is unique to you and valuable to share. And the more different perspectives that we can interact with, the even greater of a picture we have of the world or any given situation. Reality and universal truths have many different angles, and all of us see a slightly different angle. And so just trusting the way that you perceive the world. Trusting that it is unique and it is noteworthy. And at the same time, if there are aspects of the world that you don't like, you have the opportunity to create small rippling changes. And never underestimate the power of small changes that you make in your own personal life and that ripple effect that that has on the world around you. It's just the simple act of you following your intuition or you doing exactly what it is you want to do, you creating exactly what is on your heart to create, or speaking what is on your heart to speak. These simple acts do ripple outward, and they do inspire those around us to do the same thing. We all have something unique and valuable to add to this world, or else we would not be here. And the proof of your value is in the fact of your existence. And we are not meant to always remember our value and to always feel bright and whole and inspired. We are just like everything else in nature, and we are just meant to experience life. And life includes the full range of human emotions and experiences. Just like the flowers, we are not meant to be blooming every single day. We have to move through seasons of death and decay as well. And we can find peace in that. We can choose the things that we are ready to let go of. And we can choose the direction that we'd like to grow toward through our small daily actions. Just know that each and every time you make a decision to act in a way that supports your well-being, supports your health, feeds your curiosities, feeds your passions and interests in life, your talents. Each and every time you make a decision that aligns with your heart, it will gradually, slowly get you closer and closer to where you want to be. And just be so patient and kind to yourself along this journey, remembering that there will always be a period of time between when we recognize we need to make a change and when we actually have the strength and the power and the resources to make those changes reality. And so wherever you are in any process of change, can allow yourself to be there and trust that you are already on your way to where you want to be. And life is not a race. We do not want life to be over more quickly. We just want to find as much peace and grace with the journey. To sprinkle in the joys in our life that make all of the heartache and pain and suffering worth it. Because we will not escape pain. We will not escape suffering, nor are we meant to. We are simply meant to experience, to ride these waves with as little resistance as we can. And sometimes when we are in an extreme storm, when we're in extreme pain, physical or emotional or any other type of pain, the only thing that we can do is release our resistance to it. And sometimes the greatest, heaviest layer of our suffering is our constant resistance to what is. When you're in extreme pain and all of those voices that say, I don't want to feel this way, and all of the voices that just want to distract and ignore and drown out the pain, to numb the pain. And if we can catch ourselves when we are in the middle of ignoring or numbing, we can just take a moment to instead focus almost more fully on the pain and challenge that want to run away and distract. And instead see if we can soften around the pain, to not add any more unnecessary tension to it. And remember that absolutely everything is temporary, even this pain. And you can feel the pain without being crushed by it. You can feel it and allow any releases that need to come. You can allow yourself to cry and to scream and to let out all of the emotions that want to be let out. And every storm will run out of rain. Even when it feels like this is going to last forever, it never will. Nothing ever does. And so you can allow yourself to be in the storm. Let the rain wash over your skin, because the clouds will part eventually, and the sun will shine on your skin once again. And even in the middle of the biggest storms, that sun is always shining, even if it's behind the clouds or on the other side of the earth. That sun is still there. And that spark that is within you, the soul within your body that entered your body when you were born and will leave your body when our bodies are done, that spark is always there and always shining within you. And sometimes our body feels fully illuminated by this soul, by our spirit. And we feel bright and connected and like we're capable of shining light for others in the darkness. Just like a full moon. And then there are other times where our body feels in the dark, and we feel totally disconnected from our spirit and from our soul, and like we're not even really there, like we're in the shadows completely, just like a new moon. But even in that new moon phase, the moon is still there, and the sun is still shining. The moon is just not reflecting any light for the time being. And we will have times like that as well. And just like the moon, we are not meant to be full all of the time. And that expectation that we put on ourselves to be full all of the time in itself can be a great source of our suffering. And so if we can instead allow ourselves to be whatever phase we are right now, and just trusting that the next phase is right around the corner. It always will be. And you do not need to force yourself to feel motivated when you just don't. You can let yourself do all of the things that comfort you when you need them, when you're in darkness and just need to snuggle up and watch a good movie. And you can also allow yourself to fully make the most of the fullness that you feel when you feel it. You do not need to feel guilty for feeling good and motivated when you know there's so much pain and suffering in the world. And you can instead use the goodness that you feel when you feel it to shine that light for others in the darkness. Trusting that when the tables are turned, there will be someone else shining some light for you. And we can walk with each other through this life of ups and downs. So you can continue to soften your body, to feel whatever is here for you to feel. Allow any emotional releases that need to come. As you listen to the following words that are written by young Pueblo in his book called The Way Forward, you can just allow anything at all that feels like it resonates with you to soak in a little deeper and not worrying about the rest. Create what your intuition is asking you to create. Do this as an act of service. You have no idea whom you may end up helping, or even the lives you may save simply by following the truth of your heart. Don't let fear stop you from listening to your inner calling. Don't let an unclear path discourage you from taking steps into the unknown. The greatest you arises when you begin to embrace the space beyond your comfort zone. You don't need to have all the answers right now to eventually be successful. You just need to be willing to take one step at a time. Embrace the challenge. Remember how strong you are and how much you've already overcome. You don't need to move quickly. Even slow movement will get you where you want to go. Let yourself live in your power. You hold a unique vision, and that is your gift to the world. You have made immense progress. Your self-awareness has reached new levels. Your healing has made your mind less reactive, and you are now emotionally prepared for deeper connections. Storms and challenges came, but you are still standing strong. Keep doing what is right for you. So you can just take the next few moments to allow each and every word you've heard today and each and every feeling that you've felt today to settle. As if every feeling and thought and word you've heard was just a little speck of glitter in a snow globe. And your body is that snow globe. And now is the time where we set you down, let the glitter settle, and let the air clear. As you trust that anything at all that you heard today that resonated with you, struck a chord with you in some way, just trusting that that feeling sometimes comes when we hear on the outside what a part of ourselves already knows to be true on the inside. So allowing those truths to be enhanced within you so that you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. Trusting the innate connection between your heart and your head, and your heart and your hands, and your heart and your feet. Your feet will take you the places your heart wants to go. Your hands can create whatever is on your heart to create. And your head can think and speak and communicate through this love and compassionate lens that is in your heart. And so if it feels like something you would like to do today, you can just let your hands find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. As you feel all of this contact between your palms and fingers to one another, as you let your heart lift toward your thumbs, as your thumbs press back toward your heart, and you tune in once again to this rhythm of your own life, the rhythm of your own heart. As you now call in fresh, new air into the body, and watch yourself as you fill up to every corner and edge of you, the most you have today. And as you exhale, letting go of anything at all that you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. As you take this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.